One ancient method that never seems to end is the oral method, when these individuals swallow packages of cocaine and later get the product out of their system via poop. As risky and disgusting as it is, not all mules make it through to the end of this messy road thanks to the watchful eyes of airport officials. Here are 8 times when travelers were caught. Number 8. Ugandan Mule. In a naughty display of foolishness and insanity, one passenger at the Gandhi International Airport pulled off a crazy attempt to smuggle cocaine via ingestion. The female passenger, who happened to be from Uganda, had ingested the carefully designed pellets and was making her way through a terminal when she was spotted. Officials were drawn to her because of her distressed look and uneasy body movement. However, when she was approached, she shied away from any conversation while also refusing to be assisted in any way. Meanwhile, the officers could clearly see she was in discomfort. After a little more observation, the lady was intercepted and questioned. That's when she confessed that she had swallowed 91 capsules of hard drugs. On hearing that, she was immediately scheduled for a scan. That's when they found the oval pellets she had stuffed herself with. The woman was detained and forced to expel the substances over several days until all 91 of the drugs were retrieved. In total, it yielded nearly 1 kilogram of cocaine. After the ordeal, the lady was finally handed over to the police. Number 7. WCD Mule. Over at the Chedi Jagan International Airport in Guyana, one man showed the authorities how crazy he was when he swallowed several cocaine pellets into his stomach moments before boarding a flight to the U.S. Initially, the 46-year-old had denied carrying anything illegal when questioned. The airport officials believed him because his suitcase and personal clothes he wore had no traces of narcotics. However, the officers refused to take their foot off his tail as he was sweating profusely. This made them suspect he had ingested something that didn't quite fit into his digestive system. Still in denial, the man was dragged to the X-ray department, where the truth finally came to light, showing the numerous pellets swimming inside his body. The poor fella had to shut it all out over the next couple of days while under surveillance by the police. Number 6. Tanzanian Mules. 2 Tanzanians took their ambition to make wealth to the next level after they both did something that only a person with a death wish would do. The 2 individuals were busted at the Koshan International Airport with an outrageous amount of swallowed cocaine. One of them, a male named Omari Athumani Jongo, had over 100 capsules in his stomach, amounting to nearly 2 kilograms of cocaine. The other passenger, a female named Veronica, had much less amounts of coke inside her body, but her uncanny loot still measured up to 1 kilogram. In case you're wondering just how these 2 folks ended up busted, it's all thanks to a simple X-ray screening. Who knows where these drugs would have ended up if airport authorities never bought the idea of screening passengers before allowing them board flights. Number 5. 74 Capsules Mule. Another ambitious foreigner ended up with a sad story to tell after he was busted carrying over 1.1 kilograms of cocaine. The illicit substance had been carefully wrapped in golden pellets, numbering about 74 in total. The unsuspecting criminal had arrived at the Shivaji Maharaj International Airport in Mumbai, only to get ambushed by intelligence officers who had been tailing him from the shadows. Once questioned, he admitted he had intended to smuggle drugs into India and was presently carrying the merchandise in his bowels. The officers wasted no time in dragging him away and keeping him in custody until all the evil white substance pellets he had swallowed had been flushed out. It didn't end there. He was also arraigned before a court and put in custody. Intelligence reports later showed that the man, who happened to be from Sierra Leone, was working as a mule for a drug cartel and had been promised $1,000 if the deal went through. Sadly, he ended up imprisoned, far from home. Number 4. Choked on coke. It takes great balls to swallow insane amounts of a substance that can easily kill you. Perhaps one of the best examples of desperate drug pushers who got to experience the risks of swallowing cocaine pellets was this Nigerian man, Charles Obona. The young desperado had attempted a getaway via the Murtala Muhammad International Airport when officials decided to do a quick body scan. Lo and behold, he was loaded with narcotics. To make things even worse, Charles had barely left the custody of the drug law enforcement officers when he started to choke, puke, and vomit all sorts of rubbish. Turns out the insane volume of illicit drugs he swallowed, in addition to the substance he took to hold back excretion, was just too much for his body to handle. In the end, after messing up the office where he was detained, he passed out a total of 889 grams of cocaine. Sadly enough, officials would later learn that the young man had risked his life for a mere sum of $200. Talk about a real-life suicide mission. Number 3. Suspects. There are many things that can put officers on alert that a smuggler has entered the building. One of the major reasons for suspicion is body language. 2 Eastern European passengers found themselves on the airport security radar after their body language led to questioning. Following the interrogation, they were X-rayed, and that's when dozens of packages stuffed with cocaine were discovered. They were kept in custody and closely monitored whenever they went to poop because, you see, in this case, the poop carries the prize. Every single ounce of poop would need to be checked by an officer carefully to retrieve any cocaine pellets inside. And this process must continue until every single one of those packages has been retrieved. This is certainly one of the worst jobs on the planet. Number 2. Man down. All hell broke loose during a routine flight to Dublin after one of the passengers died while en route to Dublin. The 24-year-old Brazilian had been traveling with his stomach full of drugs when the incident happened, and according to official reports, the cause of death was drug overdose. You see, unfortunately, a good portion of the 800 grams of cocaine the individual was carrying burst in his stomach, causing him to become very ill and eventually die from the drug-induced sickness. It was a roller coaster of events before the authorities were able to gather information about the foreigner's origins and family background. Although authorities were able to trace the family of the bereaved and even busted another smuggler he was in contact with, it still didn't change the sad fact that he died a criminal. Number 1. Melbourne-bound mule. One smart-ass passenger got the reality check of his life when he found out he wasn't so smart as to outwit the experienced airport officials at Brisbane Airport, Australia. The man kept yapping and yapping about his plans, but officers interrogating couldn't help but notice his shaky hands and awkward movements. Frankly, he seemed like someone who was high on drugs. This prompted the officers to test him for traces of drugs. Realizing there was no way out, the man finally accepted that he was carrying drugs on his person as well as inside his body. The poor fellow soon began to sob and weep as he knew the severity of his crime. But sadly, he was too late. Things got even more tense as time went on, and the man became all the more distressed, acting all types of crazy. Officers feared he may have ruptured one of the capsules in his body, as his behavior and body language became more erratic by the minute. The passenger was finally rushed to a hospital to see a doctor. In the end, 8 pellets of meth were uncovered, worth around $10,000. That's all for this video. Let us know in the comments which of these drug busts you find most interesting. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more interesting videos like this. See you in the next video.